Hello everyone, and here we are. We've made it to the end of the MOOC. It's week 4 and this is the tutor review. Give yourselves a pat on the back for making it through to the end. It's not really the end though, because remember the course is open for a further 2 weeks for people who joined later to finish all the different sections in the different weeks. So if you can, go back to the previous weeks and see what later joiners have added to the comments that you've already made. However, in this final tutor review, my aim is actually to look forward rather than to look backwards. So my question to you is, so you finished a MOOC, so what? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do with things that you have picked up and learnt during these past 4 weeks? Now, in the first tutor review, I asked you to try and remember where you were at that moment, where you were, well, physically, but also in your head with your knowledge and your ideas, where you were socially, emotionally, and so on. Because I do think it's good to have milestones and to be able to measure what has happened between those milestones. It's good to try and measure changes and what has happened to you, for you, between those milestones. So my question to you is, what is the change that you've measured? And what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do with it? I don't know if you're like me, and I suspect I'm not the only person, but whenever I have got to the end of, say, a webinar or a short course or a conference, say, that I've followed online, I'm full of enthusiasm and new ideas and I want to implement them. Do I implement them? Very often I don't, because life gets in the way. So I'm full of good intentions, but I don't actually act upon them. And as I said, I don't think I'm the only person that behaves in this way. So shall we try and make this experience the exception? Let's try and act upon what we've learnt and felt during these past 4 weeks. So if you would like to share with us in the comments below, tell us what you would like to do as a result of following this MOOC with us. And it's important to write them down. There is a power in writing rather than just thinking. There's a power in writing, and writing it down publicly is even more powerful because we can hold you to it. Don't worry, that's a joke. I'm only joking about that. But there is something about writing your ideas down and then looking back at them because you have recorded them. So to give you some ideas of what might be happening for you, personally, individually, you might be interested in research and you want to do more research around EMI, or perhaps ELF, English as a Lingua Franca. You might like to implement some of the strategies that we've talked about actually in your teaching and see how they work, see how they fit for you. You might like to be someone who spreads the word. You could, for example, talk about your experiences to colleagues in your institution and perhaps encourage them to sign up for the October run of the MOOC. Perhaps you have a CPD, a continuing professional development group in your institution, so you could offer to do a session on some of the things that are important for you personally and important perhaps for you in your context. Thinking of tailoring some of the ideas to your context. And remember that you are the experts in your context. It's not me and Rob. We're just two people from the UK who are interested in EME, and we like to help as facilitators, helping you to make things happen for you in your environment. We're not familiar with your context. We're not familiar with the minutiae of the world that you work in. So it is down to you to make those decisions. The other thing I'd like to talk about, which is perhaps a more difficult thing to talk about, is emotions and how emotionally you might change as a result of doing a course such as this. And what I would dearly love to give you, if I could, is confidence. And I still don't know how to help you, singular, to become more confident in your abilities as a teacher. How to do this when we are so distant, I just don't know. But I do want to give you that confidence in the decisions that you make, in implementing EME in your locality. I want you to imagine, even if you're a little bit nervous about something, whatever you're doing, perhaps giving a talk or leading a session or implementing some new ideas in your teaching, I want you to imagine that there's me and Rob whispering in your ear, go for it, right? Because we're there, we're whispering to you, go for it. We have your back. Maybe I shouldn't have said that because it's an idiom, but we are supporting you. And if things don't go absolutely perfectly, it doesn't matter, because every time something doesn't go according to plan, as we would wish it to go, remember, turn it into a positive. It's an opportunity to learn and to get better. All right? So you've now got a mini me and a mini Rob whispering in your ears to go for it. Okay, the practicalities now. The next run of the MOOC will be in October. I'm not quite sure of the date yet, but do tell your colleagues that they can enroll, and it's free, remember. If you think it would be useful to have the materials, remember you can buy those, and I can't remember how much it costs. But if you pay for the materials, then you have them forever, and you would get a nice certificate with Rob's signature on it and my signature on it. So it might be something that you'd like to have so that you could go for it and lead on EME in your institution, right? So we're supporting you all the way. We've got a Facebook group, and the name of the Facebook group is the name of this MOOC. So join us. We have so many people now. I think it's about 1,000, 1,300, something like that. People all over the world, and there's news of conferences, calls for papers and so on. And it would be great if we, in a few months or a few years, saw your name there presenting on EME. That would be absolutely fantastic. You can get in touch with Rob or me very, very easily. Just, look us up, University of Southampton. We're easy to find. So it comes to the point where I have to thank you all on behalf of the team. And I'd particularly like to single out our wonderful mentors in Brazil, who have been utterly tremendous, very supportive, and we have really valued your presence. So thank you to our team in Brazil, especially Miriam. She was so brave to do that interview last week with Rob, and did tremendously well. So thank you. All of the team in Brazil have contributed comments that have been very insightful. You know, every run of the MOOC is different. So this is why we don't get bored doing it. Every group is different, and every run of the MOOC has this different feel to it. So you and the team in Brazil have contributed so much in the way of your insights into EMI and your practice. You've taken the time to truly engage and share, which is a wonderful thing to do when we're so caught up, our lives are so full. So we do appreciate it, and you know, that is a sincere thanks to you for taking the time to write something, and sometimes at great length, about your practice. And I've got two things that I personally will take away from the discussions and so on. There are so many things, but Rodrigo spoke about this beautiful human diversity. Isn't that a lovely phrase? I'm going to remember that. And then in my practice, when I've got a discussion going in class, I'm going to use Francisco's phrase when he says, "Is there something left to be said?" I don't have something, I don't think, that is quite as sophisticated as that when I'm teaching. So, Francisco, wherever you are, next time I have a discussion, I'm going to say, "Is there something left to be said?" And I will think of you. All right? So thank you, everyone, and you singular, from us and all the team. We have your best interests at heart and wish you the very, very best on your EME journey. All right? So see you next time, and bye-bye from all of us. Bye-bye.